In the future, it's all going to be about AI and decentralization. But what is the glue that actually makes things happen? It's attention. Attention nowadays makes or breaks a product, makes or breaks an election, creates a narrative. Today, the trust is around personalities. At Goldman, it was a partner who came to fire me. I took a bet on an island that was, at the time, 1/2 of Las Vegas. By the time I was done, several years later, it mushroomed to 12 times the size of Vegas. So when I say people, yes, you've got to work hard, you have good grades and all this, you've got to just be there so that when lightning strikes, you're there. It is very, very unlikely for you to just get lucky without having done the substance, without having done the hard work. Life saved me in many ways, right? Because it actually gave me a group of people that finally gave me my identity.
Welcome to Voices of Life, a podcast dedicated to celebrating inspiring members of life and friends of life. In each 20-minute episode, we invite listeners to discover the remarkable stories, experiences, and insights of Lebanese professionals who are part of our global network. My name is Joumanna Nasr Bercetche. I am a host for Bloomberg Television. I host a daily show called Bloomberg Horizons. You can catch it every day at 8 a.m. Dubai time. And I'm really happy to be here. Today, I'm speaking to a fantastic Lebanese gentleman called Wahid Chammas. Welcome, Wahid.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
You are a man who has worn so many hats. You've worked in sales-side banking. You worked in private equity. You own a media company that is obviously disrupting the way we consume news. We're going to talk about that. But currently, founder and CIO of TyreGate Capital, chairman and CEO of the Attention Company. So it's been quite a journey.
Absolutely.
Tell us a little bit about your career journey.
So when I was at Goldman in New York for a good part of 8 years, and then Janus Henderson, on the buy side for 11. Then I started my own PE firm. But you mentioned, being sort of an operator now. That's just purely because I made an investment in a media company that has sort of really, really blown up. And I've had to operate it now. So
we'll get to that.
Yeah.
How do you think your background in sales-side banking set you up for where you are right now?
Interesting, because, without me, the media company that you're referring to could be built. Okay, you need great talk show hosts, you need great creators, etc. How do you coalesce all that? How do you build a story around it? How do you create longevity? How do you create succession? How do you create a story that other people can invest in, that understands sort of where the road from A to Z is? That is all sell side and buy side. That is all knowing how to sell a company and knowing what investors would want to buy when they evaluate it.
Okay, so let's talk about the Attention Company.
Sure.
It is literally called the Attention Company. And if you go to the website, it's framed as a platform for the attention era, combining media, marketing, venture, and community building. First of all, why is it called the Attention Company?
We're talking about the attention economy. And again, credit to Elon Musk. He's always referring to this attention economy as the scarcest commodity. The idea is that in the future, it's all going to be about AI and decentralization. But what is the glue that actually makes things happen? It's attention. And can I just give you one example?
Go for it.
So we're both in Dubai, and I always like to give this example. What is the attention economy? It's like a new thing. Dubai chocolate. Mm-hmm. That is a product that is 100% attention economy. No advertising, came out of nowhere, was a TikTok phenom, influencers. That is a perfect example of how attention nowadays makes or breaks a product, makes or breaks an election, creates a narrative. And so we are all that. We are a media company, an influencer company. We are gelling a platform like X to serve the attention economy.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question. Obviously, I'm biased because I am a journalist and I guess I work for quote unquote mainstream media.
Absolutely.
So what is the distinguishing line between a journalist and an influencer on platforms these days?
Very different, a very different categorization. So an influencer is trying to influence an opinion. Okay, a journalist, both mainstream and alternative media, are seeking truth, are trying to combat misinformation, fact check, try to get the true message out there. And so I would differentiate them completely. An influencer is really someone who is a key opinion leader. They are there to give an opinion.
The founder of the Attention Company is a gentleman called Mario Naufal. I believe he's also of Lebanese descent.
Original Lebanese.
Yeah, so another Lebanese, just to add to the mix. There are plenty of us around. Is building a thriving media company these days, would you say that it has to be centered around a single person and that person becomes the brand? Or is it more to do with the whole ecosystem that's reinforcing it? Because you just brought up a couple of examples, right? It's Piers Morgan and the brand. It's Mario Naufal and the brand. Tucker Carlson, the brand. I can give you list after list. Essentially, what distinguishes the person from the broader platform that you're trying to build up?
Today, the trust is around personalities. And even mainstream media people are building around that. I struggle with that because we want to diversify, but the ratings really do follow specific personalities.
Yeah. What I always say to people who are joining the industry is you don't have to be perfect. You just have to resonate, right? Yeah. You have to, what your message, you have to make sure that whatever you say is impactful.
You have to be authentic as well.
And of course, 100% authentic. That's going to shine through.
Absolutely.
So let's just take a step back because, we spend a lot of time now talking about the Attention Company, but you took a gamble on this and there was no guarantee that it was going to work out. How did you assess the risk reward of venturing into an investment like this?
It started with, Elon Musk buying Twitter. Had he not done that, we would not have the Attention Company. It simply would not have a raison d'etre. It would not exist. Had this crypto personality, Mario Naufal, not had Sam Bankman-Fried be a story that went mainstream, the mainstream would not have discovered Mario Naufal. So another series of events. And then Elon being, sort of went through that very, very tough phase where Mario would, didn't even thought it was a parody joining his show, but it was actually Elon, and completely blew up Space. And then Space is crashing. And then Mario tweeting, blame Elon for, firing 90% of the people tongue in cheek. And then Elon responding, I'll get this fixed. I mean, those are like events that are so out there. So when you have these events happen, you feel like maybe something is happening. That gave me the confidence. Yeah. And to put the resources.
Yeah. Let's sort of frame this in the context of building one's career and career progression. Yeah. Because, you've spoken to a single number of events, but also some of that is luck as well. Yeah. You could be sort of, working these social media platforms for years and never get an interaction like that with Elon Musk. Yeah. What do you think is the biggest determinant of success?
A lot of people work hard, they do well in school, they get great careers, and they feel somewhat stagnant, right? And people say, oh, Wahid, you did so much in your life, wow, and all this. And just the brain operates as if it's linear, but it's never actually linear. For me, there's 4 things that happened that sort of did the step change catapult, okay? At Goldman, it was a partner who came to fire me because I was sort of a very young chief of staff and thought I was, very disruptive, and he fired my boss, and they told him, the first person you got to fire is that chief of staff, whatever. And then he realized a few things, and he was an independent thinker. We're still very good friends, and he took me to Janus with him, but he was the one who said, and he's going to make a step change, okay? And then I got promoted, but I took a very big risk. And I said, listen, Gary, fire me. Let me cover this, debacle for you, and then you can fire me. That was a risk I took, and luck, everything catapulted me. At Janus, it was a small island called Macau. I went away from management and the glitter, and I became a portfolio manager. I took a bet on an island that was, at the time, 1/2 of Las Vegas. By the time I was done, several years later, it mushroomed to 12 times the size of Vegas. That was a concerted bet, but that created billions of equity value that catapulted my life, and nothing else actually mattered. So when I say people, yes, you got to work hard, you got good grades and all this, you've got to just be there so that when lightning strikes, you're there. in the attention company, it's the same thing. When I made a bet, right after all the notoriety, or getting like an interview with Lukashenko from Belarus or whatever, people will attack, and they'll say, "Oh, you're Russian funded, or you're Al Qaeda funded, or whatever," and you worry. You wake up the next day saying, "Are people who are supporting you gonna pull out?" And then when they quintuple, that for me is an element of luck. So those are the big step changes. So that is, you got to be ready for luck. You got to be humbled by it, so that when you have bad luck, you know that it's okay. There will be an element of good luck.
What has been your biggest takeaway from setbacks?
It is very, very unlikely for you to just get lucky without having done the substance, without having done the hard work. But if you depend on the hard work and the substance and feel entitled, like, God damn it, this is, I deserve this, or we should do this, or we should be rated higher than so-and-so, and what have you, then you're not allowing these elements, you're not humble enough to understand that luck and the element of forces of how the world sort of gels together is part of what your
hard
success
work,
is.
ambition, humility.
Yes, and leaving room for interference.
Okay. You're a member of life.
Yeah.
You're a member of life. What does it mean to you? What does your Lebanese identity mean to you when you've worked all around the world and all of these different multinational organizations? Do you carry your Lebanese identity with you?
No.
Why not?
Let me explain. I joined Life, and Life gave me a home because I struggled with identity. Okay? I never grew up in Lebanon. When I was born, we traveled and the whole war thing and all this. And I felt like I had no country. So when I grew up in the States after college, first Europe, then the States, I never felt home. In Europe, I never felt home. In the States, I never really felt I had an identity. I'd go to Lebanon, I'd enjoy it, but I never felt one of them either. Not until Life, and when I was an early member, I really contributed to Life. And people said, "Oh, how generous this man is. He loves Lebanese." But actually, Life saved me in many ways, right? Because it actually gave me a group of people that finally gave me my identity. So yes, I'm a Lebanese identity, but Life gave me like-minded people that struggled with that.
What is the Lebanese identity?
We have the core identity that we have, but for me, the Lebanese identity is a way of life, is an outlook, etc. We need to face it that Life is made up of people. And the reason why we've survived is the only NGO that survived and had this longevity and we're bound together. The only reason is because we have this very rare identity.
Yeah. Do you think
where we feel at home.
Do you think the future success of Lebanon is closely intertwined with the work that not just Lebanese on the ground are doing, but Lebanese diaspora as well? I.e., do we all play a role in the future of this country?
There are countries in this world like that. And yes, so the answer is yes. Lebanon is a diaspora funded, a diaspora loved, a diaspora country, because even people from Lebanon, to the economy of Lebanon, no different to some of the other countries I mentioned, is a diaspora, is remittance. It's literally an economic line item. And so what is remittance? What are high remittance countries? High remittance countries are diaspora countries that are very integrated into that. So when people say, what is the economy of Lebanon? It's not just tourism or Captagon or this or that or some agriculture, right? It is the diaspora.
I can't round up the conversation without asking you the most important question of this podcast.
Yeah.
What's your favorite food, Lebanese food?
Oh, God. I mean,
you weren't prepared for that one, huh?
I wasn't prepared for any of your questions. I told you, I didn't prepare. I like different kinds of foods based on the drinks that I have. And so the perfect setting that I have is really, the drinking, the wine, the ara, all that. And so it's, those are the magical moments that I have that I cannot replicate anywhere around the world. Yeah. Okay. With the ice, with this, with that whole setting.
And the
Exactly. So for me, it's not any particular food. It's literally that setup that I think is so rare and very, very different.
That's a beautiful answer. Wahid Chammas, a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to Voices of Life, where stories connect us and purpose moves us. Join our global network and be part of Lebanon's brighter future wherever you are. To learn more about life, visit our website and follow us on social media.